Welcome back, everyone. We are here live again with Strive305, the podcast. I'm with my super good-looking co-host, Irvans, and we have a beautiful guest here today. I'm going to keep her name secret for a minute because I don't want to tell you who she is because then you won't pay attention to me. So Irvans Agustin, Tico Casamayor here, Strive305. I want to announce really quick because we're always talking about Strive305 and the events and all the other things that we do. We have May is event month for us.
All month is Small Business Month nationally.
Correct. And we have some good ones this week. Wednesday the 13th, we have the Miami Lakes Chamber of Commerce. That's my Chamber of Commerce luncheon. You'll see that on the website. We have the Culinary Connections also Wednesday night.
That's what, the 13th?
Yes, the 13th. And then on Friday the 16th, we have the big Power Day event.
Power Day.
Yes.
That's Wynwood, right?
Yep, Wynwood, and that's a big one. Again, you can sign up, free registration, go to the site, you'll get to the Eventbrite. And then on Saturday, there's something else, if another business event for Saturday.
You can find all those on the calendars on the Strive305.
Strive305hub.com. So go there, sign up, get your networking in. That's very important. All right, now let's move on to our guest here today, Sasha Scott. I'm not gonna say too much about it because then I'll take all of Irvan's thunder away. But I know she's a mom of a 16-year-old.
I am.
Yeah, you see that? Some people can have kids at 10. You were a fashion buyer at Neiman Marcus and Saks. I like that a lot because I've shopped a lot there.
That explains the outfit because it looked fabulous. We got to up our game. Can we get butterflies?
I did that once. I went to Neiman Marcus and I got a suit. I had it tailored. I did the whole thing. And then when I had to pay for it, that was about 10 years ago. I think I'm making my last payment this week. So I try to avoid doing that too much without asking how much first. But getting a fitted suit and getting the shoes is the number one thing you can do. All right, what else we got here? She has a company called ShoeFeature.
ShoeFeature.
She's going to explain that about
Features with an S on the end?
ShoeFeature.
ShoeFeature.
Yes.
ShoeFeature.
Yes.
It's a mobile boutique. Again, I'm going to leave that for you guys. It's a mobile shoe boutique.
Go right ahead.
That's cool. What else? Oh, featured in a movie, Secret Society. Is that true?
Secret Society movie. Yes.
I looked up that movie today, 2021, I think it was.
Yes.
I was trying to find you, and what is it? What got featured?
So the shoes itself.
The
shoes.
A lot of buyers and fashionistas and stylists, they reached out to ShoeFeature, and a lot of the fashion that you see in the movie, and it was very high fashion, was from ShoeFeature. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. That's super cool.
Yeah.
I got to figure out a way to get myself in a feature film. I'd love to.
Or at least your
gets asked all the time. My foot. I'll take my foot. A two-time author as well.
I am a two-time author.
Tell Irvans about that later.
Thank you.
And money management. You do something with money management too?
Lots of life insurance, a lot of empowerment for families. All of this was birthed out of ShoeFeature.
You've got a genius here. I can't wait for you to interview her so I can find out more about her. Okay, so that's it for me. Those are my announcements for the day. We're going to pass it over to Irvans and we'll get to hear his Miami Minute. This is something he invented, and wait to see how cool. He gives us a lot of cool new information every week.
Love it.
Good to be back, folks. And also, hopefully everybody had a good Mother's Day. What we're going to do today is, welcome to Miami Minute, a bite-sized insights, history, and random Miami facts for your day. This week's Miami Minute, I was looking up the history for this week in Miami historically. It was actually kind of complicated. Like there was a whole lot going on, like plane crashes and tragedies. But I picked a couple and just also kind of balance things out and to support Mother's Day and the new Pope. I threw a couple extra things to balance out the mood. First, we start with May 17, 1980. It was a dark chapter in Miami's history. After the acquittal of 4 police officers and beating death of Arthur McDuffie, tensions reached a boiling point, igniting 3 days of fierce rioting in Miami. This was a pivotal moment that not only put a spotlight on some of the deep tensions in Miami, but also sparked changes in social justice and political landscape in Miami. And switching gears a little bit, and I was going to take a step back, and also in honor of the new Pope, first American Pope. I took a quick look into the Catholic Church roots in Miami. The Catholic Church has really deep roots in South Florida. 1567, Spanish Jesuit missionaries first arrived to evangelize to the Tequesta Native Americans near the Miami River. The oldest Catholic church in Miami is still in downtown. It was built in 1913 and is still Miami's oldest Catholic church. It's still up and it's still functioning. In 1987, Pope John Paul visited Miami, and he had a crowd of 150,000 people in Tamiami Park.
Oh, wow. I think I remember that, believe it or not. Yes.
And today the Archdiocese of Miami serves like 1.3 million Catholics, and the church is going strong. And last but not least, in keeping up with the theme of honoring legacies and in honor of Mother's Day, I just want to highlight a few legendary mothers in Miami's historic history. These women didn't just raise families, they raised an entire community and cities and kind of shaped the city that we have today. We, of course, know Julia Tuttle, and we all know the story, mother of Miami. She persuaded Henry Flagler, brought the railroad down, gave up her land, and basically that's what the city of Miami is, just because of her, and that happened in 1896. Mary Brickell partnered with Julia Tuttle, gave her part of her land, and that's how they even got Flagler down here. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, she's the mother of the Everglades. Her book, The Everglades, The River of Grass, helped give birth to the environmental movement down here, and that's why we have national parks and other things because of her. Athelia Range, civic mother and pioneer, she fought for civil rights and equal services for Black residents, especially children in segregated Miami. And she was also the first Black woman commissioner in Miami's history. And Annie E. Coleman, community builder, Liberty City. She was a key figure in advocating for Black neighborhoods, and she helped create Liberty Square, one of the first Black housing projects in the South, in all of the South. And last, Elizabeth Varick, I'm sure you know the name from Coral Gables. She's the mother of community empowerment, and she civil rights advocate in Coconut Grove and pushed to improve sanitation and and housing for Black Miamians. And that's your Miami Minute. That was more like 2 minutes, but you know.
I love
Excellent.
it.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Love it.
That's really good stuff.
That's really good stuff.
Were you here for the Pope
Yeah, here
in 87?
in 87. Yeah, I think I was 10 years old.
Did you go?
No, I saw it from TV.
Right.
I'm lying about everything. Except for being here. I was
Right,
here.
right.
I wasn't 10 years old.
Right.
All
All
right.
right, let's find out about Sasha. Go.
Miss Sasha. And what is your full name, Miss Sasha?
So Maria Sasha Scott.
Maria Sasha Scott.
Yes.
Miss and of ShoeFeatures.
ShoeFeature. Yeah.
How did we get into shoes? Because if you were, correct me if I'm wrong, as a buyer in fashion, you probably there's a lot that could be covered in
Absolutely.
that. Why did you pick shoes?
I actually didn't. A lot of the compliments I would receive would be on the shoes that I was wearing or just different items. And women would be shocked at how I'd tell them, like, I could get this for you. You know, I can supplement that. That's easy. And I realized a lot of women, too, based on their shoe size, they feel like it's something that they wouldn't be able to ascertain. And I just became the link, the liaison for that.
So there's hope for us too. You can get a size 13
Absolutely.
in a wedge.
Absolutely.
Nice.
And that's part of being a buyer too. You filling that hard gap, you know, like just things that are harder to find back when the internet wasn't so savvy. Now you can actually take photos of things and go and Google it that way, right?
Right.
But those things weren't as accessible, 11 years ago when I started ShoeFeature. Yeah.
And that was going to be my next question. Like, when did you decide to make that leap, and what was that like for you?
Being a single mom really propelled that leap.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be with my son more. I didn't want to miss a game. I didn't want to miss anything that my son was doing. And I know that entrepreneurship would allow for that. Of course, you work more as an entrepreneur, but it was just so rewarding that I wasn't missing anything. I didn't have to be on anybody else's clock or
And you
anybody
can
else's
control your
time.
schedule and do your
Absolutely.
stuff. That's great.
Absolutely.
And then, was it an easy transition starting your own business, or?
Define easy.
I guess making the choice was probably the easier part, but then actually implementing and starting a business. Like,
Absolutely.
what were some of the challenges you faced just to get your business started?
I'm still facing challenges. I just think the challenges change. And you become a little bit more resilient and you're able to foster change. But from the first time, it was just structure.
Mm-hmm.
I know the fashion part. I know how to supply and demand. I know how to give my clients what they want. But then what about, having everything legal, on Sunbiz and, keeping the articles in place and filing your taxes and getting the permits and, pulling up to deliver and just keeping everything structured. That was a very big challenge for me. And what you don't know, you should definitely hire someone to do if you're unaware. And like now, it's just scaling. How do I become bigger? How do I get out of this loop of stagnation? How do I, widen my audience base, have a bigger client, have a different client, reach out to people that are entrepreneurs themselves and don't have the expertise that I have, And so I'm so happy to partner with Strive to do that.
No, that's exactly one of the goals and the values of Strive305, because some of the things you mentioned about, well, before I get ahead of myself, like you mentioned permitting, did you have a storefront or?
No, so it's initially ShoeFeature was online and then mobile.
Okay.
Predominantly mobile more than online.
Yeah.
And so to pull up to certain venues, you had to have permits. You're not just allowed to legally. You can do those things, but do you want to get fined?
I thought that was just an issue for just like a food trucks and other stuff. But like for you as a business for
absolutely,
shoes,
absolutely. And
not only permitting. Sometimes you have to have liability insurance for each one of those events.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not expensive, but you don't think about it.
You don't think about it.
One thing happens and that's it.
And that's it. It can put you out of business. And so one of my biggest clients were the girls that worked at the Comcast building. This is pre-COVID when everybody worked, 500 people in a building.
Right.
And so I would pull up on their payday and really feature shoes, ShoeFeature.
So you had a mobile.
It was like a truck. It's a small truck, very small truck. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so just so that no one would call, the authorities on me or report me, I would like to have everything in place. And so these are things that I learned reverse. I learned
the hard way.
Yeah, the hard way, so to speak. Yes. Yes. But still got it done.
That's very cool. Yeah. So right now you've kept it mobile.
Predominantly online now.
Okay.
It's COVID has allowed for things like Uber Eats and things like that to become, it's so normal now to have deliveries, but it wasn't back in 2014 when I started. Yeah. Yeah. And so how do you compete with that, that avenue? Unless, there are some facilitating aspects of Uber where you can like have things delivered. Oh yeah. So that's something that I'm trying to incorporate in my business. I just don't know how yet. And you're going to help.
So almost like on the Uber Eats side where you can have, or they can stop and pick up other things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Uber has Uber deliveries.
Right. Yeah. Right. So if it's not a partnership, then ShoeFeature will venture out to do it on its own.
Yeah.
We need to get on Strive305 before anybody else does. Those drone deliveries. Because I know those things, that's coming.
Amazon.
I know it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming.
What about it? What if ShoeFeature was the first one to do it and we put that on and it's because of us?
Hey, that'd be kind of cool.
Absolutely.
That could be very cool. So, and I mean, you already mentioned, I think that's kind of, Tico and I both having small business. I mean, his business has definitely, how long you guys have been in business?
1946, the family, 1976, man.
Yeah. Wow. So like our company, like my company as well, like I've been in business for 12 years, but I think that almost like you, like first starting out, there was a lot of things you just kind of had to learn the hard way. And I don't know what they did in 1946, but
word of mouth.
Everything was a hard way. And so, but like having a site like Strive305 just kind of gives you the opportunity, like, cause like now there's a central place to know, like you can go and get the information of, what do I need to do to get registered? How do I get to sign up? What permits do I need? And that's the benefit of Strive305. And so, like fast forwarding now to where you're at. You mentioned scaling, and you also mentioned like increasing your audience and things. What do you feel would help you with some of those
things?
Yeah.
Like you said, there's so many resources on that.
Is it money or is it really
just
facilitating space, or like what is it?
A big part of it is finances, absolutely. But you'd have to know first what's needed in order to implement the finances to pay for it.
Right.
So right now it's doing that research, having, like you said, a hub where you can find all that information and then implement what's needed into the business. And as far as scaling, there's two directions I do wish to scale in, right? So I have the mobile piece and the online piece.
Okay.
I think I've somewhat dominated the online piece as far as social media and different digital aspects, but the mobile piece is where my challenge is. Like, I don't know yet, do I wish to partner?
You want to do more of those and do more in person and then take things to different trade shows or networking events? And
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you visit brick and mortar stores? Do you partner with other stores?
I have partnered.
Other boutiques and things like that?
Other boutiques and things like that. The way I present it is that I mitigate risk because, hey, you don't carry shoes, you carry clothing, let's partner. But I find that sometimes people think of it more on a competitive aspect as opposed to a collaborative aspect.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, if you have something that they don't necessarily have is complementary. So
until they see the niche and the clientele, and then they copy
like,
and
oh,
decide to do it
try to
themselves.
do it
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Personal stylists would be
Yeah.
people you work with.
Oh yeah, so personal stylists have been a huge influence in my business. That's the reason I've been in, but the shoes have been in movies and different
Because of the stylist.
because of the stylists. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I can connect you with one. I literally put out a podcast today, Miami Lakes
Oh.
Business Podcast. It was a stylist that we interviewed. Our
Fantastic.
chamber president is the one that does
I
it.
love to
That's a
collaborate.
behind the scenes a guy on that podcast
Huh.
instead of front facing you.
Yeah.
Another thing, what about markets? You know, those people that do markets on the streets and things.
They do, but my fashion is curated in such a chic boutique way that it doesn't really appeal to all audiences, to that audience. But I'm not opposed to anything. I've tried it all. And yes, in the beginning stages, I absolutely was out there marketing to.
I say it because one of our resources on the website is Diego with he has multiple markets throughout the county.
Oh,
So that's somebody you can go into. You look. There's certain areas I think that would work.
Right.
Like in Miami
Certain
Lake,
needs.
Yeah,
we
because
do
they
the
have
market on
different.
Saturdays.
Yeah, they have different ones.
We have boutiques there. I think there would be a good spot because it's a different kind of crowd that
Niche
goes
crowd,
there.
yes.
It's a Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so things like that. So that's something, again, you could use the website to connect with Diego and you, and then he'll tell you which locations. We just did a Mother's Day event on Main Street yesterday.
Yes.
That must have been
And
cool.
he helped us and he brought out different people, so something like that would work, could work for you.
Absolutely.
And he curates like the markets based upon the
All
types of
over,
events.
all over town. And he has a couple of magazines too. So if you wanted to come out in the magazines, so you see, those are the kind of resources.
Yeah.
One of these days, we got to bring in a resource. Like we did the first episode, we bought a resource and a small business.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was a good one. The
Yeah,
Hialeah
we
gentleman.
could
Mark
do that
Gomez.
also for as part of the Strive305, just organize an event, or host our own events as well.
Well, the events you mentioned in the beginning, I will be attending.
The
Now
Power
that I'm
One-
the ambassador.
The Power One on Friday.
Yes,
You got everything you mentioned. I was reading through the list of different speakers, and they're all covering all of that. Even grants.
Yep.
The one I'd like to see is the grants that the county has, because a lot of people don't know grants.
They don't know it exists.
I mean,
or their business is not structured in a way where they're applicable to these grants. There's a lot of resources out there, but their business aren't structured in such a way where they would.
And then also, for some of the grants too, a lot of people don't realize that even if you're a for-profit company, you can still apply for certain grants, even if it says, like, you can get a nonprofit partner, like the Miami Foundation and others, where you can set up a partnership with them. And then you're able to receive dollars from other entities that you wouldn't normally be able to, because they need to give the dollars to a nonprofit.
Right.
But if you have a nonprofit partner and you structure it that way, then you can get money through in different ways as part of different grants as well. So there's a lot that you can do with the grants, and I think that hopefully they at the event. I forget who they're bringing in, but I know they're bringing in several Fortune 500 type corporations and events, and it should be really interesting.
I'll be in attendance.
Yeah. It should really be great.
I look forward. I do look forward.
I got some. No, I'm just making a couple of notes because I think we actually have a couple of things to follow up. I think we should definitely host some type of Strive305 type of event and do.
Yeah, the Florida Market Group is
not for
the
Maine.
name of the group that Diego.
Okay.
Not for Maine.
You'll find it on the website. Just look it up, and he's a resource on the website.
Yeah.
Does everybody know the website? Strive305hub.com.
Yeah,
I
was about to say.
Okay. No,
I think you got
super,
it.
That's a good ambassador.
It's super important because I think there's things scattered on the internet. There's a lot of information, but you don't know if it's correct, and you don't know, it's not vetted.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to have a hub that has everything sequentially.
And then we're also going to be adding a marketplace on the hub, so that way it's just another opportunity and location where you can list your business and find other partners and things like that. And it. Yeah, I think it's a really interesting opportunity that I think that us as small business owners can leverage and find different ways to collaborate.
Yes.
And I'm kind of looking forward now for you, like with these different, there's a lot of challenges. Things are very uncertain in different spaces. And then also for you yourself, like I know you wear like 4 or 5 different hats. And
I do.
We'll have to have another show to figure out when you sleep. But
Sleep is overrated.
Right?
I used to think this way, but I do some of my best, like you're fully charged and you're ready to go when you have very good rest. I used to be team naps and no sleep, in the beginning, because you're just in hustle mode. But now I've found that alignment is so much more important. Like, just having a conversation with you two has propelled my business already in such a way that, running around to different Dominican salons and knocking and begging and, and chasing was just not doing for me. But, you have to grow and learn. And this
Very
this
much
is where
so.
I'm at
I know
now.
we're running out of time, so I
Okay.
want to see you brought some shoes for us. To
Oh,
look at?
yes, I did bring a couple pairs. My most popular sales pieces now. And this has the very furry, comfortable bottom. It's just a beautiful shoe, easy. My clients love gaudy. They love embellishment. They love over the top like the owner.
This
and so
definitely qualifies for all of that.
yes. And it's very comfortable. I have
What's
the
your
male
shoe size,
version.
Tico?
That looks freakishly comfortable.
What's your
It
shoe
is.
size?
I'm a size 10. Yeah, but I
You're
came
size
prepared
10?
too because she didn't bring any men's
I
shoes.
didn't bring any
No.
men's shoes
So I
today,
came
but
ready.
I do carry
I came
men's
ready
shoes.
for shoes here.
You brought your own?
I got my Jordan Flu Games. These are
My
very hard to
son would
get.
love. My son would love
just
these.
to know, people know
My
I
son
got
would
my
love-
shoes every week. Now I'm going to pull up one of my shoes along with my t-shirts.
You got
We
shoes.
look forward. And then the other pair that's done amazing
I don't
in
even
the
know
fall.
where I got these. I got these in New York at a shop.
Oh, I love the color.
Olivier Cabell.
That
There you
navy blue is very rich. Like that does very well for my men's collection. Navy blue and oxblood are the two colorations.
Oxblood.
I like
Yes.
that name.
Wow.
And so this one did really well in the winter. I think just because of
In the
all the
winter,
holiday
this-
parties and everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Well, winter
I
in,
was thinking-
winter in Miami.
Miami winter, look
at
Miami
it.
winter.
I was thinking warm, like
No. We're always toes out in Miami. And so this embellishment goes all the way up to the shin and it's a 4-inch heel. My girlies love it. And this style did really well. Yeah. That's it.
Did you take
Very
notes, Tico?
beautiful. I
For
took
the
the
wife?
notes. I got it ready. I will.
When's the wife's birthday?
She has
You know your wife's birthday? When's your wife's birthday?
June 18.
Good answer.
Good
Look at you.
answer.
Prepared.
Awesome.
I put him
That's
on the spot on
fantastic.
camera just to say.
No, those are
Good
certain
husband,
things
good
you got to
husband.
memorize.
Yes. And shoe sizes.
Excellent.
Oh, no, I don't know that one. Yes, I do. 8.
See? He got lots of points today. Lots of points.
Yeah.
But do you know,
What-
I have
what
a lot of
t-shirt?
male clients that shop for, that's all I brought. I have
Okay.
way more. I have a lot of male clients that shop for their wives or girlfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they come out to the holiday parties and the women are wearing the shoes. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a community,
Someone should
that's
tell
what
Grant
ShoeFeature
so
is.
he can just get a few. He can buy a few shoes for
For his loved one.
His different
For
loved
his loved one.
We'll call him loved one.
loved ones.
Sorry,
I'm here for
sorry,
you.
Grant.
Sorry,
I'm
Grant.
here for
sorry,
you.
not sorry.
That was
Grant.
Irvan's. I told you he was starting to get funny.
Grant is Mr.
here.
Miami Community Newspapers here.
Oh,
And they're
awesome.
they're our great hosts,
Awesome.
and they're also entertaining to others.
Yes. Well, I'm here for the community. I'm here for the men and the women of the community, and just gift ideas too. So
What are you looking forward? What are you excited about at the moment for the
Oh,
rest
wow.
of the year? What are you interested in?
connecting with the young people. I think my client is 11 years older now, and so I have to get back into my younger.
That's
space.
interesting.
Yeah,
to look
yeah.
at,
Your
'cause
client, as your client, as you grow, your clients
they
are
grow
growing.
with you.
Absolutely, they grow with you. And so just learning now what the young people are into, what they're talking about, what's hip, what's hot,
Where to find them?
where to find
Are we
them.
on TikTok?
Right. TikTok shop. And I think that's what I'm focused on at this moment. Yes.
How do you stay
Relevant.
relevant and up to date on?
I listen.
Okay.
And so now it's what do I listen to, right? So
Right.
yeah, what are the young people listening to? But I think
So it's not like you're sitting at home watching the Met Gala,
oh, absolutely.
taking notes.
Oh, absolutely. That's
That
part
too.
of it. That's part of it. You
Even I
have
do
your, every client is different. You have the theatrics, you have your mundane, you have your boring, or just, I wouldn't say boring, but just traditional, right? And then you have your over the top. And so if you really wish to know your client,
Yeah.
you just listen. They'll tell you, hey, Sasha, I don't like that. I prefer this.
Are you able to get supplies in with all this noise around? tariffs
Yeah,
and
because
all
it
this stuff?
hasn't hit us yet, but I'm getting prepared. Yeah. And I've always done it third party anyway. It's out of LA. So the people in LA deal with that, and then I do.
LA
it
has
in
a
LA.
strong shoe game. My
Yeah.
brother lives in LA.
Yeah.
And he has a crazy amount of shoes.
Mhm.
But to have stuff you don't see here, but I guess
Yeah.
because
Well,
of the
they're a
market.
little bit ahead because of
Yeah.
the market. So sometimes
So that's where you go and you
curate my
curate your
shoes.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, good to know. Now I know where to go.
exactly. I didn't know.
I'm always way behind. I'm in
Same.
You're not behind. You have me. You're never behind it.
Now
we're retro. We call it retro 80s, right? We're coming back. We bring back the past.
It
which is
all
also,
if you just wait long enough, it just
it all
comes back,
circles
right?
back. Yeah, it really does. It really does. I have a lot of my even this they call it the eyelet. These are styles that my grandmother wore years ago. the eyelet style. It's embroidered and hand woven.
It's fabulous.
You can always intertwine old with new, like expensive with less expensive. Yeah, you can have fun with it. Fashion is an expression of self. So, yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. All right, I think we're done, but let me say, because I can keep going with fashion. I'll keep going with her forever. And next thing you know, I'm taking off my clothes and putting on other clothes. I'm glad I didn't bring any other clothes. One of my favorite things to do is disrobe and rerobe.
Yes.
All right, so I forgot earlier to thank your commissioner, because she might be mobile, but she does have an address, and that is District 1, which is your Commissioner Oliver Gilbert. Oliver G. Gilbert III.
Yes.
So thank you.
You're in Miami Gardens?
I am in Miami Gardens, my business, yes.
So thank you to the commissioner for bringing us this wonderful small business.
Yeah.
Thank you again always to Mayor Daniela Levin Cava, that gave us this podcast to be able to.
And what's his name? Whose name you're not supposed to say?
We never talk about Manny Sid because he doesn't like to be.
You're never supposed to say.
And then you add him.
He doesn't like to be. He doesn't like. He's very humble, so he doesn't like his name mentioned.
His name is short.
Anthony Bonami. He does like. Anthony does like. His
Anthony
name.
likes his name.
He likes a name and pictures. He came in last week for pictures. I have to post them constantly if Nettie gets mad.
Awesome.
We thank our partners at Miami Community Newspapers.
Yes.
And
I have a copy.
Hello, without who this doesn't happen
at all.
Without Amanda, hello, our producer,
our favorite producer.
Yes, she's the one. I mean, Grant doesn't really do anything; he just screams a lot. Grant Miller here, that's it. That's all you hear from him. But Amanda does all the hard work behind the scenes. So thank you to her as well. And that is the end of our episode. Another wonderful Strive305 episode. We're getting close
more in book.
I think we're almost at 10.
Yes, wow.
Yeah, we're still not canceled. Look at that.
Oh, and I also forgot to mention, because Irvon's is doing such a great job on this one, they've commissioned a Spanish-speaking language to Strive305.
And a Haitian one.
So
I think the Haitian one was the first Haitian podcast they've done here at the Community News.
At the Community News, there you go. So keep an eye out for those. Those are, the Spanish is coming out every 2 weeks. I think the Creole as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so look for the link.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So if you, anybody, of course, if you have any small business owners or relatives or friends who only speak Spanish or prefer to speak Spanish or Haitian Creole, there are shows for small businesses that they can engage and listen to. And also, again, just to learn about what the opportunities are around for small business.
And then the first episode of the Spanish podcast, they had a super cool guest host. He was like famous guest host.
He looked a lot like you, though.
I know, but in a suit. For Irvon's, I don't wear suits. There's no competition. But over there, the girls are so I suited up. You'd be proud. I was wearing a very nice plaid jacket.
You look very stylish.
Very nice.
Blazer. I was wearing, I forget the shoes. What did I have? I think they were Ferragamos that day.
Very nice.
You're welcome.
Smooth.
See, I can do both.
He knows his brand.
He does.
That's for the ladies. But anyways, that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Sasha, for being here with us.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute
What's
pleasure.
your website again before we go?
It's so predominantly now everything's on Poshmark.
Poshmark.
It's called, of course, ShoeFeature, and we're gonna relaunch that website and take it to the next level. That's
awesome.
That's next.
Beautiful.
That's up next.
Thank you, everyone. See you next week.